Hi, my name is Angela.
And I'm Sage.
And welcome to episode 2 of the TrailMixed podcast.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about giving y'all a little insight of our dating history. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to give you a little bit more of an insight of my past, my dating past.
Mm-hmm. You don't talk about it that much.
I feel like I've smoothed over it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had conversations about our dating past, but it hasn't been as detailed, I think, that we're in comparison to what we're going to talk about today. Yeah.
I'm nervously excited.
It's not anything crazy. I promise. Sorry if I keep looking down because I have notes on my phone. Okay. So should I start or you start?
You start.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So where did I begin? Growing up, high school typically is where people start dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did not date at all in high school.
None?
None. Yeah. I grew up with a pretty strict mother. The notion was you cannot date until after you're out of high school. So I am one of 4 girls. None of us dated in high school.
No one?
None. So, well, with the exception of one. And she was a kind of funny story. She's currently with the guy that she dated in high school. To my knowledge, at least. Vanessa, correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, she's currently with the guy that she dated in high school. And they reconnected years later. And currently they're in a relationship. So I find that kind of funny. Kind of cute also, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so didn't date in high school. I didn't start dating until my junior year in college.
Damn.
Yeah, I was 21 when I started dating. Like, I'm not sure what exactly influenced me to start dating, but I went to Korea in 2015. I came back and I was like, it's on and popping. I'm gonna date someone this year. I don't know what struck in me, but I was just like, I have not dated anyone. I'm not getting any younger. I should.
At 21.
Yeah, I should. I was wilding out. Wilding.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Hood rat shit.
Whatever that means, but to me, not very much. But I decided to start dating. So the first guy that I dated okay, let me clarify. I had not had a relationship until you. So this is just me going on dates or hanging out with different guys over a period of time. So in 2015, a guy that was working at my workplace at the time approached me and was like, hey, we should hang out sometime. And I was like, all right, no one really is after me, so why not? So I decided to hang out with this guy. And I hang out with him for like a few weeks. It was not anything serious. But I was like, okay, no. I found out he was talking to other women at the workplace. And I was like, oh, no, hard stop. So I dumped him. And I was like, no, don't contact me anymore. And so I just let that go. And then maybe a few months later, I hopped on Tinder. And on Tinder, at that time, I only went out with one guy. So I matched with a few guys, chatted with them, but it never really came to anything.
Yeah.
So I matched with one guy and we went out on a date and I was like, oh, he's super cute. And I just fell into the idea of him being so attractive, but that relationship was stale.
Yeah.
There was nothing really beyond it than him pretty much complaining about his life problems to me and me being there as emotional support. But he never really truly got to know me as a person. And so it never really came to anything. But beyond us going on dates together and then him confiding in me for emotional support.
You are a good listener.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, and it went on for like about 8 months-ish. And he ended up, okay, at the time we had like the stipulation that, you can only talk to me and I'm only talking to you. Like we're exclusive, but we both, at the time he didn't want to be in a relationship. So I was just like, well, I kind of want a relationship, But he's like, oh, I'm not ready. I have all of this stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of stuck around for 8 months. I know, dumb.
So that's why you tried to, like, you're not talking to anyone else. I'm not talking to anyone else. We're in a relationship when it came to me, right?
Yeah.
You're like, let's get this shit straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I prioritized the expectation.
Okay.
So 8 months of that. And then I found out he was talking to other girls on the low, and I was distraught. Like, I was so hurt. And I don't even know why it hit me so hard. Maybe because I was so infatuated with the idea of him wanting to be with me or wanting to be around me so much that meant more to me at the time than us actually being in a relationship. So I find this out, and this is where it gets embarrassing. So I find this out, and then pretty much I confront him, and I'm like, what's good? Like, why are you doing this to me? I trusted you. You were feeding me that I was the only person you were interested in. And now you're talking, you have a whole container of women that you're speaking to. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually I'm like, okay, it's good. We weren't in a relationship. I'll take you back. Take him back. I know. Take him back. Hilarious. Right? So I take him back.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, he dumps me. And I was hurt. I remember I was coming back from, what was it exactly? It was like, almost like a career fair, but for people in my industry, hospitality industry at the time. And you go and you mingle. And that morning, he dumped me. And so I go to this event, and I'm like not really socializing. At the time, I was like on the up and up. Like, I was trying to build myself up in the hospitality industry. And then I went and I didn't talk to very many people. I like left my resume only here and there. And at the time, I was trying to get into an internship. And like, so it was complete flop just because this guy dumped me earlier that day. And I come home, and my mother, oh, my heart, she sees me when I come through the garage, and she's like, oh, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, nothing, I'm fine. And I go and I stand in our dining room, and she goes, Angela, what's wrong? And I just start hysterically crying. Hysterically. And I did not expect it to affect me the way that it did, but it really hurt me. Yeah, like really hurt me. And I wasn't expecting it, which was the worst part, because I was like, why are you crying? Like, he ain't nothing. He's not worth your time, girl. Move on. And I'm like giving myself this whole pep talk on the way home. And I get home, and I hear my mother's voice, and it broke me. Sorry. And it broke me.
Yeah.
So after that, it like, all my trust for men, out the window. Gone.
I don't blame you.
And so after that, I took a break from online dating. And maybe 8 or 9 months later, I hopped back on. I was bored. It was like summer break at the time. And so I was like, okay, you're not doing anything, so you may as well try again, right? So I hop on OkCupid. And there's a lot of weirdos on OkCupid. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum. If that's your go-to online dating service, it's not mine. So I meet this guy, a lot of strange people on OkCupid, but I never went on a date. And I eventually go on a date with this one guy. We find out that we both go to the same university at the time. And I was like, oh, sweet. Like, if anything, I have a friend, right? So he ends up having a very complicated situation. He was kind of depressed, and I was, once again, emotional support. So I get sucked into that again, where I'm here to be like the shoulder to lean on with no return. So I never really got emotionally deep with this person at all, just because it just never amounted to that. But this guy I was talking to on and off for 2 years, 2-ish years.
That's a long time.
I know. And it was one of those things where we never made it official because he was very wishy-washy. And so we would talk for a long time, that I wouldn't hear from him. We would talk for a long time, that I wouldn't hear from him again. And so eventually I was like, I made the expectation to myself in my head, we're friends and that's all we're going to be. So I was like, okay, well, whenever he hits me up, we hang out, we go to a movie, or I go and I hang out at his crib, we play with his dogs and feed his fish. Like, you know, like it was not anything too deep on my part, but on his part, he used me as an emotional crutch once again. And so those are my two main encounters before you.
Mm-hmm.
I had small on and off things where we go on one date and then I wouldn't talk to him again. And that happened like maybe 4 or 5 times with different people before I met you. And so fast forward to 2018, April of 2018, swiping on Tinder and I find you.
Me.
Yes, you. And I'm like, oh. At this point, I had already decided what I wanted. I was like, I want a relationship with somebody who's worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me being crushed, used, to be like, okay, this is my boundaries for myself. He has to be into something more. Well, we have to vibe, 1. 2, he has to be into it more than just us talking and him using me for emotional support. That was really big because I felt like I just, whatever. So, and you have to be, did I say that? You have to be serious about a relationship. I can't be used for emotional support, and our expectations have to be lined out in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I stuck to my guns, and then we ended up working out very well.
We did.
Yeah, and I haven't dated anyone since. Here we are.
Better not have.
Almost 2 years in, and I haven't dated. And we've been rolling strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about you?
Well, I never really had good luck with the ladies. In high school, well, junior high and high school, I always tried to talk to girls, but never really went well. I went to a small Christian school, so you know everyone, and I'm pretty sure I asked 70% of the girls in my class out at one point. You know what I mean? Like, and you ask one out, they all talk. So by the time you ask the next person out, they're like, "Oh, he got it to me," and then the other one's like, "Oh, he'll probably ask me out soon." But it never worked out. And then there's one girl in our class who I never even thought of liking. You know what I mean? I just didn't. And then I figured out she liked me, so I was like, "Oh, someone likes me? All right, I'll give it a try." And it was a relationship.
Really?
I mean, it was fun at first. It wasn't based on anything other than, I don't know what it was based on. Like, looking back at it, I never had fun. I didn't enjoy it.
The whole time.
Yeah, she kind of just controlled me. I was involved with her family a lot, and I distanced myself from my mom, so my mom didn't like it, or her. And then I think we dated for like 1.5 years. No, it was close to 2 years. And then
so in that time, do you feel like why do you think you stayed in the relationship?
Because I didn't have confidence that I could find another girl, and it was just safe and easy.
Even though she gave you problems. Yeah,
her dad was nice. Her dad gave me my first real job, like my first taxable job.
Oh, that's
her grandma would give me money all the time. Like, "Oh, here, go to lunch. Oh, here, we're going to the other side of the island. Here's $500. Pocket.
Rolling, yeah.
But it wasn't based on personality or love or anything like that, even though I thought it was. Like, I bought a fucking $400 promise ring that just went in the trash. Tried to get back after. She's like, "That's mine." I was like, "What?" Anyways, she ended up sleeping with my roommate. And then started dating him afterwards.
Dang. You were still living together at the time.
We were still living together, me and my roommate, not her. And yeah, so that hurt emotionally. You know what I mean? It was a terrible time because I was also still working for her dad, and it was a family business, so her dad's brother and sister worked there, and it just wasn't fun. But I feel like I won the breakup for sure.
Why?
Because she dated my roommate. Then she went to another guy who looked like me, a brunette, stocky white man, on the heavy set white man. And then, so it was me, then my roommate, then another dude who she married for, I don't know, seemed like a few months or a year or whatever, had a kid, got divorced, got with another guy who looks kind of like me. And yeah, so... But And then after that, I didn't I didn't talk to any girls or date for maybe 2, 3, 4 years. It was a long time.
Wow.
Because I moved away to Denver right after, or shortly after that. And then when I came back, I had 2 little flings with much older women. One was 5 or 6 years older. The other one was 10 years older.
Wow.
And it was just one, that Drake line, I fucked the girl that used to babysit, but that was years later on some crazy shit.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So we were at the party one night and I was drunk. I blacked out halfway through the night. But apparently we were like talking all night, and stupidly I drove her to her house because she needed something and she was like touching on me and whatnot. She told me this afterwards. Maybe I deserved a DUI later.
Oh, Jesus.
But we had a fling for a little bit, but she ended up realizing she didn't want that. I didn't really have anything going for me in life. So, and then the next one was 10 years older than me, and we met at through a mutual friend at a concert thing called the Ho'olalea in Hilo. And, we did it hung out for a little bit, but that ended up just falling off. There was no compatibility. But, Tinder dating and online dating wise, I never had a date before you. I would get matches and then just not know how to talk to girls.
What?
And in Hawaii, it's weird because you know most people, so most people will match with you, and then you'll start talking. And they'll just ask people about you. So it never worked out. And then I moved up to Vegas and started swiping. I was like, no one knows me up here. This will be easy. And no matches, and then boom. I matched with you. Like, oh, she kind of cute.
Kinda.
And she liked to do hood rat shit. So I was like...
I was only kind of cute?
Yeah. I'm just joking. You're really cute.
Wow. It's like that shouting.
And then we started talking and we just hit it off. It wasn't like I was trying to hook up with you or trying to not hook up, flirt with you and try really hard. It was just
your
natural.
MO was not to bang me.
I'm not saying that, but the way talking wise, it didn't feel like that.
Okay.
Talking to you came easy. It was like talking with a friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or someone I wasn't sexually attracted to.
Okay. Yeah, we did have very casual conversation. It was just like, oh, what types of things do you like? Just typical stuff. Yeah. But then
But the thing is, you conversed back. A lot of the time when I would try and talk to girls online, it would be like, yeah, oh, I like blue. Oh, this. Oh, yeah, cool.
Let me be clear. That's common both ways. Because you could be, I don't know, maybe it was just because I'm I can be a very talkative person. If you meet me on the street, you're probably not going to, no, listen, but if you meet me on the street, you're probably not going to get very much out of me. Yeah. But when I make an effort to speak to people, I can be very talkative, you know? So I would be messaging guys and it's just the same thing. And I'm like, man, I've had better conversations with a brick wall. Why am I wasting my time? Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So, So dating for me wasn't the best before you. I had one, you can say long-term relationship, almost 2 years. Not that long in the grand scheme of things. But that relationship made me realize what I want. You know, I want someone who has their own life and I have my own life, but who want to be together and who can work together. And it's not just me, or her. It's, we both want to help each other out and we both want to build each other up. Yeah. And that's the opposite of how the last relationship was. But I definitely brought some of those negative things into this relationship, as in she wouldn't like me hanging out with my ex, wouldn't like me hanging out with friends, or I remember one time we went to dinner for my birthday with my mom, and then we went back to her house, and I was going to go hang out with my friends, and she threw a whole BF about it. Wow. And it's I couldn't go hang out with friends or do this. She didn't want me drinking, this and that, and it's just... Yeah. That controlling environment wasn't good for anyone.
Do you think a lot of it was because you guys were young?
Yeah. And it was both of our first relationships, and we were both, in a way, undesirables. You know, we were both kind of big. We both, I did soccer and volleyball. She did swimming, but we weren't the best. You know what I mean? We just did it because we did it. But it definitely taught me what I wanted in a relationship and what I didn't want.
I feel like I gained that over being used, like emotionally used, and not even realizing it at first. Mm-hmm. It was me taking the time and reflecting to understand that. Like, even though I didn't have an official relationship, mm-hmm. I had an emotional investment into people who I felt didn't reciprocate that. And because of that, I was able to determine what I wanted and what I didn't want it from mm-hmm. a relationship in particular, like specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that your upbringing had any effect on the way that you went about dating?
Yeah, because having a single mom and, having a woman that's always in charge and telling you what to do is mm-hmm. just something I was used to or okay with. So having that as a girlfriend was just like, I'm used to this. Like, no, it's not a big deal until it was a big deal. Until I got it out, I was like, that was trash. Like, she didn't treat me like a boyfriend or a human. She treated me like a dog. You know what I mean? Like, do asset. This, go do that. I'm hungry. Go to these 2 places to get me food. Oh, you took too long. This and that. Like, I swear to God.
Hey, be nice.
She wasn't.
Well, anyway, I feel like my upbringing had a really big effect on the way that I dated, simply because my mother was so strict mm-hmm. and she didn't want us dating until we were out of high school. And I understand why, because when you're young, like, why are you really dating? Other than to have somebody that you call your significant other. And a lot of times, like, they cloud your judgment, 100%. Especially when you're trying to do well in school. Like, you're trying to set yourself up for success to maybe go to college or whatever. Like, I've seen some people who ended up in relationships and, like, just ditched their friends, didn't really have a life outside of that relationship. And I feel like when you're young, that matters a lot. Like, the relationships that you build with your friends, because they're, I don't know. And also building yourself up as a human being. A lot of that happens in high school too.
You're still trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And if you're only with one person, they're kind of controlling, in a sense, how you act and what you do, then mm-hmm. you don't really find who you truly are.
Yeah.
And if you ask my friends, because we started dating the second semester of senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. So if you ask any of my friends, I disappeared. I skipped school more. Like, she would get sick because she would get sick. Not sick, but just, I don't know. But, so I would go to school less. During Christmas break, I didn't go to soccer practice at all. I stopped hanging out with my friends. They made a Facebook page and put my face on a milk carton.
Yeah, every time I see your friends, they tell me about that.
I didn't go away to college at first because I was staying there, even though I got accepted in, like, the mainland. Mm-hmm. But I stayed there because my adolescent dumbass thought, oh yeah, this is what I want. This is, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and my principal always said, he was also our soccer coach. Our principal always said, don't date in high school. There's no point. Because, his reason for dating was to find someone suitable for marriage. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's what it is. But as kids and young adults, you want to just mess around and whatnot. But dating in high school is pointless. Mm-hmm. You should focus on who you are, going to class, doing sports, finding out what you really want to do in life. And then once you figure out who you are and all that, then find someone who matches with that. Yeah. But until then, dating in high school is really pointless. And I wish I wasn't so self-conscious and so eager to date. Because, like, seeing everyone else with boyfriends and girlfriends, you're like, oh, what? Am I
undesirable?
Yeah, or am I a loser? Or this and that. So it's like, you need that for validation. Like, oh, someone likes me. No, you don't. Your mom likes you. Your parents like you. That's all you need.
Your friends like you.
You got friends, yeah. Mm-hmm. Save that for college. Save that for not high school. High school's hard enough as it is. Like, you don't need that extra pressure on you from someone who also doesn't know who you are. Like, she probably also didn't know what she wanted in life and who she was. So it's like, just wait. There's no point in rushing it.
Yeah. So I didn't date in high school, and I'm glad that I didn't. Thank you, Mommy.
Smart.
And
shout out Linda.
Yeah, shout out. But yeah, didn't date then because she was so strict. And when I started dating, I was like a little bit nervous to tell her about it because I didn't want her to judge me. But then I'm like, Angela, you're an adult now. Like, you don't have to ask for your mother's approval. But I still find myself wanting her to approve.
Of course.
About like the people that I date. But I didn't bring any of these people around my mom because her approval meant so much to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't bring home. So like I only told her, oh, I'm going on a date. I would give her their name, and that's about it. I would tell her where we're going, of course, and when I will be back, and I'll keep her in the loop, like text her and so on. This sounds weird, but I was living with my mother at the time. So, yeah, but then she was like, oh, when am I going to meet him? And I'm like, you're not. Because if I don't feel confident in the relationship that I have, mm-hmm. I'm not bringing you around. Yeah. Like, what do I look like? I'll be looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Like, if I bring them home, mom's like, oh, no, leave them at the door. Like, I just couldn't deal with the pressure, essentially.
So how many boys has your mom met?
You.
I'm the only one?
You're the only one. Yeah. And that was a whole hoot and a half when I introduced him to her. But, and I was confident with that decision because I really enjoyed you and we were official and it was more than just the crap I was going through before.
I still remember that when I met her.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that her and my relationship with my mother shaped a lot of the way that I dated, especially when I was telling her, oh, I'm dating on Tinder. She's like, what? I heard about Tinder on the news. Like, or my mom's pretty hip with the game. She knows social media. But, yeah, I wonder if her expectation was like, oh, she's out here whipping it left and right for all the men. I wonder if she ever thought that. But I think she has confidence in me to know that.
Yeah,
that was
I think she knows she
what I was
raised you
doing.
right.
100% of what I was doing. But yeah. So yeah, a lot of my relationship with my mother and the way that the expectations she had on us as women, or the women that we were becoming, mm-hmm. played a large part in the way that I decided to date and when I decided to date. So, what was your mother's thought when she found out that you met me on Tinder?
She just had questions like, oh, I don't even know, actually. I was just like, oh, I met this girl on Tinder. We're going on a date. She's like, oh, yeah, what does she do? What does she look like? This and that. Like, just normal questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom's used online dating before. Like, back when it was like Match.com and all that.
eHarmony.
Yeah, like, but not the millennial way. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I can't really remember. I'd have to ask her.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't really care in a sense because I knew I liked you and I knew we clicked right away. So
it didn't matter.
No.
My mom was like, "Oh, another one."
Wow.
But she didn't. I don't think she expected to meet you until my mom went out on knee surgery around the time that we met. Mm-hmm. Around the time we started dating, like seeing each other often. My mom was in a rehabilitation facility and I would go see her, and then I spent my time between seeing my mom and seeing you. Like, that's where I prioritized my time at the time. And she was like, oh, like I told her that, oh, I invited you over. Is that okay? I got her approval and stuff like that before I started inviting you into my home, because that's very disrespectful. Not even my home, my mother's home. That's very disrespectful. But and then she was just like, oh, am I ever going to meet him? And then like I started easing into it. Like, yeah, maybe you'll meet him. Like, I really like him. And then by the time she got home and she was recovering, then you were able to meet her. Mm-hmm. But where were we going with that?
I don't know. You were just asking what our parents thought.
Oh, yeah. So my mom, every time I would start a new like dating app, I'd let her know. So at first I started using Tinder. And I used that on and off, like pretty much the whole 3 years about that I was on. Okay, so I started in 2015. I met you in 2018. So all of that time. So I'd be like, oh, I'm on Tinder. And I'd tell her about it. And I'm like, oh, I'm on OkCupid. Oh, I'm trying Bumble. And I would like tell her what they are. So it was very transparent. It wasn't weird.
See, I like the thought of Bumble, but no girls ever messaged me first. And you couldn't message them until they messaged you. They're like, oh, wait, he actually swiped right? all right, I'll just let this 24 hours run out.
I actually don't feel bad because I went on dates with like maybe 2 guys from Bumble, and they told me the same thing. Like, it's not often that girls actually message back.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, they really out here when I was on Bumble. Because I thought like, oh, they actually want to talk to me. Occasionally I got ghosted, but it wasn't as often as Tinder. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I think it's because they were so eager that a girl actually responded. So it wasn't, it's actually common that guys don't get messages on Bumble. So y'all girls need to step up your confidence. Let these boys know what's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, be confident in who you are.
Yeah.
Can't ask for very much. Like,
tell them.
You don't seek approval from anybody else but yourself. Because at the end of the day, like you said, I came into this world alone. I'm not gonna be in this world with anybody else but myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said something similar to that last episode. Rewind it and correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so yeah, and I think so I told her, oh, I'm on Bumble, oh, I'm on OkCupid, oh, I'm on Tinder. So it was pretty transparent between the two of us, with me dating, online dating. But it's very common as millennials, don't you think?
I think that's the only place to find dates.
Yeah, it's not.
Because like if you find a date at the bar, it's like, do you really want to be in a relationship with
somebody you met
bar?
At a bar?
Not like a bar person, like it's a bad thing, but it's like, I don't know. I just never, because I like tried at bars, but it's never the right place to talk. All it is drunk talk. Like it's not even you. Like I remember I was at a party one time and I had a bottle of Hennessy. And I had the bottle of Hennessy.
Oh,
like
gee.
I drank the bottle.
It was you and that Henny.
Yeah. And I remember finishing it, but I was talking to this girl and it was going good. Like I was talking and we were going back and forth. And we're like, let's catch lunch tomorrow. And then tomorrow came and I kind of figured she didn't want to go.
Yeah. And
then we got there and it was awkward.
Oh.
Like there was no conversation. Everything I asked was a one-word question. Like, oh, what do you... And she worked... I don't know where she worked, but... I was working at Target at the time. I was like, so what are you going to do? She's like, I don't know.
It was very flat.
I was like, okay, she doesn't want this at all. And it just wasn't, it was a shitty conversation and a bad date. But, that liquid courage, unless you have the courage without the liquid, it doesn't help. Because then you're going to go back to being who you really are. And I was just awkward and whatnot. So, I don't know. Yeah, where do you meet people nowadays?
I know, right? I'm asking the same thing, but I feel like online dating is the future just because we're so attached to our phones and our devices, and we look for convenience and instant gratification. Yeah. I think that's the perk of online dating is because you find out pretty relatively soon on whether or not this person is worth your time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's the biggest perk of it.
Because you can see if they're worth your time before you even swipe or talk to them. Because you see their profile, and most of them are just like embellishing a little bit too. But it's like you see what they look like, you see what they like, and it's like, do I like it? No. Yes? Okay. Then you can start talking and see if they match their profile and if you really want to keep going with it.
True. I do remember one thing you told your mom when we went. The first time I met his mother was over Thanksgiving. We drove down to the city she was living in at the time.
Oh, that was the first time you met her?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the first time. Because she came down for Mother's Day, but we were relatively new. So we didn't have any conversations or any real interactions. But we had started following each other on social media.
Yeah, her and my mom get along.
Yeah, I love his mother. So we would chat back and forth on social media. But the first time I had met her in person was when we took a road trip down to his mother's town, the town she was living at the time. And she asked Sage, oh, so what did she say? She was like, oh, so she said like she doesn't really get how Tinder works, but I thought it was more so for hooking up. And you said, no, it's for either hooking up or for the socially awkward. And we were like, yeah, we're both socially awkward.
Yeah, definitely.
So to sum it up, that's kind of what it is. It's for either hooking up or for the socially awkward. So if you feel like you're socially awkward, it may work for you.
Yeah. And I was never the, go talk to that girl type of guy. I was like, why? She probably doesn't like me. There's no point.
Yeah.
But a funny thing about that first time you met my mom, my mom was living with a friend of hers because she was a traveling physical therapist. So she went place to place. And her friend had this whole bookshelf, right? And some books were just, like a bookshelf,
Jeez.
right? But there's one book that was front facing, so you saw the cover just in the middle of everything. And it was a Barack Obama, either photograph book or autobiography or something. I was like, oh, so you just randomly had that out right now when Angela's coming over? But come to find out, her roommate was a
big Obama fan.
I was going to say Republican.
She's a Democrat. Baby. She was a Democrat. She was just a fan of the Obamas. That was really what it came down to. Because she had various Obama memorabilia around her house, and it didn't look like it was intentionally placed there.
Yeah,
but
it
was really funny. You told your mom, and she was like, "What?" And we're just hysterically laughing.
Yeah,
I thought that was really funny too.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything else you want to add about your experience with online dating?
It was trash before I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I'm a Tinderella, if you will.
I did.
Yeah. Is what they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in online dating, I would say give it a shot. It doesn't hurt. Be safe. That would be the biggest tip. Be safe and know that the person that you're talking to has well intentions. And that's not something you can necessarily get straight away.
Yeah.
But I never ran into any weirdos or anything out of the norm other than you going out with this person and not clicking with them. That's fine. That's normal. That happens with dates. You say you met them at the bar, but I feel like it's not that much different, right? From if you met somebody in real life and then went on a date with them later and you find out that they're crazy. It's the same as if you swiped right on them and then you went on a date with them and found out they were crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anything else to add?
No. I thought you said anything else, Dad. I was like, wow.
Anything else to add?
That's straightforward. Usually there's a DY on the end of that.
Ooh, okay. Anything else?
No? Did you want to do the question thing?
Yeah.
So here's a question, and you guys can answer too in the comments or send us a message or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I think it'd be fun to chat about.
Now, if you had to eat the same 3 meals a day, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you had to have the same meal every day for the rest of your life.
So the same food for breakfast, and then you can pick a different food for lunch.
Yeah.
And then a different food for dinner. But you have to eat that same consistent meals every single day.
Every day.
Okay.
But you can do a little variation. Say, from my breakfast one, I have a smoothie in there. You can do different types of smoothies.
Okay. That's
right?
fair.
It doesn't have to be the same kind of...
But it has to be something blended.
Yeah, it has to be
every
a smoothie.
Morning.
It can't be a milkshake. It has to be a smoothie.
I feel you.
And again, you can just throw a scoop of ice cream in there. But
I know.
Do you have... What would you do?
You can go first.
All right.
I haven't thought about it. He came up with this. Okay, let's not shade it into something that it's not. He came up with the question. He texted it to me earlier today when I was out running errands. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. We should talk about it.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought anything. I haven't picked out what I wanted yet.
Yeah.
But you've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can tell me first.
All right. So for breakfast, I'd have a smoothie. If I had to choose one type of smoothie, it'd be a mango berry smoothie with bananas.
Okay.
Yeah, and some yogurt with an omelet. And
so a smoothie and omelet.
And omelet.
Okay.
Yeah. And probably toasted sweetbread with some butter.
Oh, sweetbread.
Yeah. Some good sweetbread. Not your King's Hawaiian sweetbread, but like Punaluu sweetbread.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, Puna something. I can't remember the name.
If you don't know about that,
delicious.
Yeah.
If you ever go to Big Island.
I think they ship online.
You told me.
You can ship online. Actually, one of my coworkers tried to deliver it, and they sent it to the wrong address.
Oh yeah, you said you told me about this.
Yeah.
So
omelet and sweetbread toast or sweet toast. What do you say?
Okay, is gaining weight not an option?
Yeah. It's the only thing you can eat for the rest of your life.
Because you can have some of it and none of it at all.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I got this.
For lunch, I do all you can eat sushi, just because
it's your favorite food.
Of course. And dinner is a tough one because I want to say steak, but I feel like that would just get heavy after a while, like day after day. But no, change it. Change it all.
All?
No, not all. Lunch, I would do wings.
Oh, God, you took my
wings and a Caesar salad.
Okay.
I can do that. Mm-hmm. And then for dinner, I'd do all you can eat sushi with some kind of pie a la mode for dessert.
Pie is your go-to dessert?
No, but I feel like there's so many variations of pie.
You can't
I
get
could
tired
do
of
it.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
from
yeah.
like a apple or a peach cobbler or peach pie.
So you can do a
like
vague category of dessert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or to like a key lime pie where it's totally different than the other ones.
Okay. Does cheesecake count? No, it doesn't. You said pie.
Yeah, no, cheesecake doesn't count. Cheesecake was a...
But listen. Okay, so you can get like a cheesecake pie kind of thing, because like the crust,
they look like
the no
pie.
bake ones are close to
Yeah.
to that.
Switch. I'm going cheesecake.
Cheesecake,
Wow!
Yeah. So I convinced you to switch to cheesecake.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's mine.
I'm so persuasive.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
What about you?
Okay, so for breakfast, I'm gonna jock yours smoothie.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the smoothies. There's so many variations. I would get sick of eggs, so that's not on the list.
Yeah. And smoothie just makes you feel good for the day too.
It does. It like sets you up. You might get a good number 2 out of it. It's a good time.
And I'm not a huge coffee fan, so I didn't throw that in there.
Yeah, you can also throw coffee in your smoothie.
Yeah, I have other drugs I like better than coffee.
You and this coffee is a drug.
Coffee's a drug. Just because everyone says it's legal and good for you, it's a drug.
Okay, you might. Okay, we'll save.
I know I'm right.
We'll save that debate for another day. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm not 100% sold. You might have to convince me.
Whatever.
Okay, so I would say smoothie for breakfast with sweet toast.
Sweet toast.
Or just a toast. Just a toast in general, because you can switch up the different breads.
Yeah, I was going to do sourdough or sweet bread, but I think sweet bread.
I'm just going to go toast.
Yeah.
So in case I'm feeling carby that day.
Yeah.
It's an option. And then lunch.
Wait, that's all? Just a smoothie and toast?
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever get sick of that. If I can never have eggs again, I think I'll be okay.
No, but you don't want like anything else, like waffles or French toast or like an actual meal? Just
I can make the toast into French toast.
Bet.
So there you go.
There you go.
So that. And then for lunch, I'm going to say a sandwich.
I was thinking sandwich.
You can switch it up.
You're right.
You can just off the bread and be like, look, I have a sandwich, no bread. It's pretty much a salad.
I guess, yeah.
You can make a Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
There's so many. You can almost make anything into a salad. Fight me.
Salad or sandwich?
I mean, a sandwich.
Yeah.
Fight me.
Technically, you can take 2 pieces of pizza and put something in between it.
A sandwich. Am I right or am I right?
That actually sounds pretty good.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then dinner, it'll be salad and wings.
See, salad and wings is,
yeah.
I could eat 40 wings every day.
Mm-hmm. We eat a lot of chicken
lunch.
wings.
Yeah, we eat a lot of chicken wings.
Yeah. So I think those would be my 3.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. If you guys have any ideas or any meals you guys could eat for the rest of your life, what are they?
Yeah.
Throw them in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify,
hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah. TrailMixed Podcast.
Yeah.
Is our @name, username. So yeah.
Yeah.
What would you guys like to eat forever?
Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
I know. I'm kind of hungry.
I'm always hungry.
I know. I only had breakfast today. I haven't had, but we didn't have a very healthy breakfast. So
it was healthy. It had tomatoes and some dairy and carbs.
It's pizza.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good choice. I'm not proud. So
I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was episode number 2 of our TrailMixed podcast. Talking a little bit about dating and our dating history and food, of course.
Yeah, it's like our favorite pastime is food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I encourage you guys to have this conversation with your significant other as well. I feel like maybe not. I understand that dating history can be a touchy topic for some.
But
I do recognize that. But I feel like
dating history is a part of you, and you have to get to know the person 100%. Even though sometimes she'll start talking about things she did or who it was with and whatnot. It's like, I don't want to hear it, but it's like, I kind of need to hear it to fully understand you.
Yeah.
To fully know why you do things or how you are the way you are.
Yeah.
So.
But approach it from an angle that you feel comfortable.
Yeah. And just be open-minded when they're talking.
Absolutely. I feel like that's a really big catalyst. Be open-minded about what your partner has to say. Hear them out and then express your feelings. Positive or negative.
Yeah.
Constructively. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anything else to add?
No. That's all.
Okay, so thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of TrailMixed Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, it's available on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, it's available on YouTube. Just type in TrailMixed Podcast and we should be up. Subscribe.
And we hope you guys have a good day.
Yeah, we'll be back next Sunday.
See ya.
Bye.